everybody. Welcome to the very first edition of the Maroon Devils Network Coaches Show with our first-year head coach, Scott Riley. And, Coach, it's always a lot of fun. We do this every year and every week. And one of the things that we love to talk about, obviously, and one of your favorite topics, I'm sure, is Maroon Devil football, because the fans here are just so rabid and so enthused. And I know they're fired up for this season. But it's going to be fun to talk to you every week, as I'm sure you're getting to know these players more and more and more and getting ready for the upcoming season. So welcome to the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be here, and we're excited to get started.
I know you've got a lot of new faces coming in this year, some of the JVs that moved up. You know, last year we had some really good playmakers, people like Drew Cody, who graduated, Zeke Glaspie, our speed guy. Of course, he moved on. Drew Skaggs now playing down at Wofford, one of our best linemen ever. Who are some of the playmakers at the skill positions that you're looking to really step up and fill these gaps this year?
Yeah, I think a lot of people got to step up, you know, in the receiving core. Evan Ball's done a really good job for us. Ryan Leatherwood and James Loftus have done some good things in the preseason. And then in the backfield, Caden Sawyer had a real big first scrimmage, rushing for I think 174 yards in that scrimmage. And Blake Lambert had some big runs as well from the quarterback position, and we had a few people banged up, Coleman Green and Aiden Kirkland, and they're coming back online this week. So we expect some big plays from those guys and several others. You know, with a small team, everybody's got to do a little bit to contribute, and you know, we're excited about the group we got.
No doubt. Coach, you were talking about small. I was just looking at the preseason roster, and, you know, we don't have a lot of numbers as far as bodies out there, but, man, we have some big linemen as far as physical size, you know, Aiden Smiley and Noah Brown and some of these guys. So we have some guys, if they're healthy, who can really plug those holes, don't we?
Yeah, I thought they did a great job in both scrimmages, but particularly in the first one when I think we averaged like 11 yards per carry in that first scrimmage to really, you know, move the line of scrimmage and did a good job there. Obviously, you mentioned Aiden and Buzz, you know, returning starters on the offensive line, but the offensive line was the strength of the JV team the year before, and those guys are coming up with, you know, Coy Rowland and Keegan Arkansas and Cohen Smith and Houston is primarily playing on defense, but he can get plugged in there, and Cody Bentley Cody, you know, good young talent to mix with those older guys in the leadership role.
Oh, no doubt leadership is so big. Coach, let's talk about your philosophy a little bit, if you will, offensively and defensively. Of course, some of us older heads that have been around Maroon Devil football almost since football was invented, you know, for so many years, the split back veer was kind of the thing that the Maroon Devils had so much success with. But over the past several years, we've seen some different looks offensively. What do you want to get from this team? I know you have to sometimes match it with the talent you have. What are you looking for offensively and defensively for Maroon Devil fans to see?
Yeah, I think you'll see some split back veer. You'll see option and physical run game. That translates no matter how you get to it. That's winning football. So, you know, winning the line of scrimmage. Very rarely do you win the line of scrimmage on offense and defense and not win the game. So, you know, we'll try to give multiple looks and get the best fit, you know, week to week as far as scheme goes. But we're gonna always try to win the line of scrimmage and have a physical run game. And then on the defensive side, you know, stopping the run and winning the line of scrimmage there too. That translates no matter who you're playing or what style of football it is.
Oh, no doubt. And the Smoky Mountain Conference for years has been well known for being physical and running the football, coaches, as you're well aware. Defensively on that side of the ball, do you like a three-man front, a four-man front, moving your linebackers around? What do you expect from your defense?
I like to be multiple, just like, you know, on the offensive side of the ball. If you know what you're getting, it's a lot easier. If you don't know what you're getting, it puts a lot of stress on the other team. We'll base out of a 3-4. just because it's easier to move and go from one defense to another and kind of flow with that and try to put pressure on the offense. They always say, the man with the board pin last wins. So if you don't know what we're in, we hold the board pin last. So.
Oh, no doubt. Coach, talk about the transition, if you will, a little bit. Of course, you're coming from a larger school with obviously more players able to play down to a 2A school here at Swain County High School. Just recently 2A. We were 1A for so many years. What is the real big difference coming from a bigger school down to this 2A school at Swain County High School?
It's nice. You get a little bit more personal relationship with each of the players, get to know them a little bit more than you would, being at, a bigger school with, 3 times the number of players. You can only, really get to know so many people. So that's been nice. I've talked to a lot of coaches that, have coached at the 1A, 2A level across the state. And a few that have coached, like Paul Hoggard, who was at Richmond for a long time and then went to Eaton Holmes, kind of the same transition, and, got some tips on how that transition can take place and the differences. And but he's been very pleased with that change, and I've been very pleased with it as well.
Yeah. Coach, talking about, if you would, talk about your coaching staff a little bit, kind of who's doing what, because obviously the head coach runs the show, but assistant coaches are such a very important part of what you get done on Friday night.
Oh, absolutely. They're essential to what we do, and couldn't do it without them. And it's a really good staff. Almost all of them are Maroon Devils through and through. Yeah. Graduated here, played here. I think we have 8 state championships on the staff. Scotty Mack is our athletic director. He wears a lot of hats around here, but also is our quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, and athletic director. So he does a ton for us, and he's won a state championship as a player and as an assistant coach. So same with Eric Stevenson, who's our defensive coordinator and assistant principal, and again, someone that wears a lot of hats, does a lot of things for the school as a whole, but definitely for our staff. On the offensive side, we got Coach McNamara at quarterback coach, Rocky Dietz, another Hall of Famer, as our running back coach. So coaching the offensive line is Tony Cochran, so another graduate. Coach Hyatt is our JV quarterback coach and offensive coordinator. So he's won state championship as a player. And Brandon Woodard is our JV offensive line coach. Okay. And then Emmett Baldwin is a new addition here. Came from Smoky Mountains. This is a big week for him this week here. But he's coaching the wide receivers on JV and Varsity. So it's a real good offensive staff. Hitting all the age groups and all the different generations of the Veer and Maroon Devil football on the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, it's led by Coach Stevenson, who we mentioned. He's coaching defensive backs. Mitch Green, who's won a state championship. He's a great one, and he's coaching the inside linebackers. Cody White, who's obviously a great football mind, another state champion. A lot of them are on that same 2004 team together, so we talk about 2004 quite a bit. He's coaching outside linebackers. And then Coach Driver is coaching our JV defensive line as well. So again, a lot of tradition here. And I'm relying on them I was like, hey, don't let me miss any on these traditions and things like that. So they're holding me accountable to those things and doing a real good job with the players. And I think when you have so many guys that have been here and bled Maroon Devil, Maroon their whole lives, they're going to go the extra mile to make sure that the kids are prepared and they're upholding the standards and traditions that Swain County football has always been about. Oh, no doubt. Outstanding staff, Coach. Fans, talking about the upcoming week, we got Smoky Mountain coming in here this Friday. We'll come back and talk about those Mustangs when we return here on the Maroon Devils Network.
Fans, welcome back on the Maroon Devils Network. The Mustangs of Smoky Mountain coming in here with their silver and blue on Friday with head coach J.T. Postel. His dad even goes back a long way in the Smoky Mountain Conference, so he has a lot of that old Smoky Mountain Conference feel. He knows what works in the Smoky Mountain Conference. And Coach, they were kind of down a little bit last year. They didn't have many seniors. I think they only graduated 3 or 4 kids. But this year, they are loaded. Their numbers are way up. They have, I think, 15, 16 seniors. Very, very strong team. So they're expecting a lot of things this year at Smoky Mountain. But coming to Swain, they know they got to play one of their best games to get a W.
Yeah, really good football team. As you said, a lot of experience on the field. So not just a lot of seniors, but a lot of seniors that have been playing for a while and starting for them. And even their juniors, a lot of them played and started as sophomores last year. So they were a pretty young team last year. Got a lot of playing experience coming back. And that's always a very valuable tool week one to have in your back pocket. So we know we got to prepare really well, and that's the thing we've been talking about. Is the game's not going to be won on Friday night. It's going to be won Monday through Thursday in our preparation and how we practice and how we approach the week. And we're going to have to give our best effort to hang with Smoky.
Oh, no doubt. They have one of the best backs in that Mountain 8 conference, and that conference, to me, is a lot like the Smoky Mountain Conference because it's so competitive. You have so many good teams like Franklin, Smoky Mountain, Pisgah, Tuscola, West Henderson. We could go on, kind of like the Smoky Mountain Conference with Swain, Murphy, Robbinsville, and so forth. But Riley Smith, one of their best backs in that conference. He's back this year. Jackson Cooper, veteran quarterback, running the show offensively. So their offense really presents a challenge, doesn't it?
Yeah, as you mentioned with our offense, it starts up front. The offensive line is really good and physical and a strong, big group. And obviously, Riley Smith is a load to take to the ground, and you gotta have your mind right if you want to tackle him. And a lot of respect for the way he runs the football. And as you mentioned, the quarterback Jackson, he's started last year as a sophomore, about partway through the world. Didn't start against Swain game 1, but came in and played most of the year as the quarterback as a sophomore. And so even though he's a junior, he's got senior type experience under his belt, and those are valuable tools at that quarterback position to have.
No doubt. Coach, I know it's always a big deal, the season opener, especially here at Swain County High School. I think the fans, we need them to come out on Friday. We've had afternoon showers, it seems like every day this week. Even had a big thunderstorm come into Swain County Memorial Stadium earlier this week, but hopefully the weather will be good, and we can have a lot of fans to come out because, man, it's so much more fun to play in front of a big crowd, isn't it?
It is. It's really good, and it helps the players, the atmosphere, and it's hard to play bad when you got great energy in the stadium. So, that 12th man effect is big, and it looks like there might be some thunderstorms on Friday. So come out anyway. Obviously, we won't play during thunderstorms, but stick it out. There's nothing better to do on a Friday night than watch high school football, and the kids could really use your support, and we could as well. We always coach better too with a big crowd, and we look forward to having a packed stadium.
Yeah, Coach, talk about the JVs a little bit. I know we have maybe a couple of new faces in the coaching ranks for our JV team, but the JV coaches also help a lot with the varsity, don't they? So it's very important for that JV football team and coaching staff to really be part of the overall scheme here.
Yeah, obviously led by Coach McIntyre. He's coaching the defensive backs on the JV level, but is a big help for us on both sides of the football on the varsity level. And some of the guys are just coaching JV, focus on more of the scheme piece of it because we're playing a different opponent each week. But all the guys are contributing to JV and varsity. The way we say it, we're one program and we're trying to win 2 games a week. But the varsity guys will help on the JV level, and then the JV coaches are also going to help on the varsity level, and everybody's going to both games and trying to get it done and get 2 wins every week.
No doubt. Coach, it's always fun on Friday night, and as you mentioned, it's determined Monday through Thursday. But boy, I tell you what, talk talk about a tough schedule, and our Maroon Devils are traditionally used to this. We opened with Smoky Mountain, and they're going to be, I think, better than last year. Then we got Pisgah, a team that is probably better than people think, even though they graduated a lot of kids. Then Franklin. So, yeah, we're kind of running through that Mountain 8 conference here in the preseason, and that's a tough bunch, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's a tough schedule, and hopefully those games prepare us for a very tough conference. So it doesn't get any easier when we get to the conference season. And football in this part of the state is very difficult and challenging, but that's what makes it rewarding as well. So you can hang with them, and that's you contend for championships on the state level if you can contend for championships on the conference level and even the non-conference level here. So obviously a lot of great players and coaching, but the competition is also a reason there's all those state championships up there on that hill, up there as well. So, it's hard to do in a vacuum. It takes, who you play makes you better as well. So that's what we're looking for.
No doubt. Fans, that's going to wind it up on this week's edition of Maroon Devil Football with Coach Riley. We always look forward to talking with him right here on the Maroon Devils Network. And, hey, the main thing is we want to see you in the seats on Friday night. The Mustangs are coming to town. That old rivalry is being reignited. We go all the way back to the Silver Webster days, if you will, with the Golden Eagles. So, hey, let's get the season started with a W, and we need your help. So join us then on Friday, and join us next week here on the Maroon Devils Network.